Festivals were reflecting and questioning Thatcher's New Britain. Unemployment had reached record levels and anxiety reigned.
People were just leaving the cities in droves, young people with no hope of a job or anything. You know, three guys would chuck 100 quid in and buy an old coach from the back of a coach company, you know, one of their old ones they retired, throw a few mattresses in and head off.
And so what happened was that movement grew and grew and grew. And suddenly, instead of just the kind of sort of, you know, slightly better off hippies making their kind of arts fair up in Norfolk, like the Albion fairs and so forth, you drove a whole load of sort of quite hardcore working class people from up north onto the road.
In 1979, I think there were 6 vehicles at Stonehenge, you know, and by 1984, there were thousands of people hitting the road. More and more people appeared on the festival scenes, drinking, you know, the whole punk sort of attitude, you know, fuck everything kind of thing, you know, was quite prevalent amongst a growing group of younger disenfranchised people who had just given up on living in cities.
Just trying to live our lives, that's all.
We don't interfere with anyone else.
And this world's supposed to be a common treasury for everybody to share, not people to
free
button
land.
up. You know what I mean? No wonder people are starting to get sick. These people are pushing our people too close. And, like, it's going to start to explode one of these days.
This whole thing here is just a total farce.
Cities are going crazy, everybody's going crazy. It's all because of this. They're trying to impose a police state.
There was a definite kind of tribalism going on, and you know, the whole new age travellers and new age gypsies and the convoy and all those, you know, there were lots of different little cults of people, you know.
A lot of them were sort of social casualties, really. A lot of them were drug casualties. A lot of them were living outside the law, really. They weren't completely independent of the system. A lot of them were on the dole. So I think that the sort of the authorities saw this movement as rather a threat.
The original hippie idealists were being joined on the road by a new generation of post-punk urban squatters. This collective would become known as the Peace Convoy. And as they arrived at Stonehenge Festival in 1984, it seemed peace and love had now fully surrendered to anger and resentment.
There were in excess of 100,000 people at Stonehenge. You know, as with any town that size, you're bound to have a few mischievous elements, shall we say.
The increasingly lawless Peace Convoy stood for everything the establishment despised. And in 1985, the tension would reach boiling point.
At one point, we were on our way to a festival up in Cumbria. I think it was called Blue Moon or something, and the police were on their way to the miners' strike. And this huge flotilla of police went back, and they all had banners in the back saying, "You're next." And it was pretty bloody obvious that, you know, what was going to happen in Stonehenge 85, the Beanfield. You could see it coming like a train.
With the Battle of the Beanfield, the establishment had crushed free festival culture. The original dream of an alternative, utopian society now lay in tatters. By the end of the 80s, with Glastonbury struggling with the times and Reading facing bankruptcy, the outlook for British festivals was bleak.